Okay. And then if iPad number 7, if you can change your name, if you're a board member, I can promote you to panelist. And then Kate and Ann, I'm trying to promote you as well if you want to join in.
I'm gonna do attendance from the Zoom.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
Just my,
Yep, there you are, Ann.
yes, finally. Good, fun. I've been trying to get in since 5, but all's good that ends well.
Okay. I love your attitude. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Colleen, did you want me to start?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Is everybody hearing us and hooked up and someone wave, do something, stand on your heads? All right, let's go.
I think they can't turn on video. Tim's trying to fix it.
Okay,
So that's
I
why
can hear
I don't
you.
know why you can see me and not everyone else.
right.
But yeah, so I'll give a quick update on social work. It's really mostly all in the report. Our numbers are a little bit down this month, but I would attribute that Jess Rice was taking the Shine training 2 out of her 3 days. So really had to kind of back up from her social work role for that. It was a big time commitment, but she finished and she passed her test. And we're really proud of her. So we're excited to have her Shine trained. Our counseling program is still going well. We have a short wait list, which is, it's never good to have a wait list, but it's manageable, which is good. I don't know if I said this last time. I met with some students from Olin College doing a project on accessibility in older adults. So it was in technology. So it was a great meeting, and I'm hoping to kind of loop them in the future. We did a posting to get an Olin student to help us with the tablet program. No bites yet, but hopefully one will come. We had also put out one to get one for the Homelessness Prevention Coalition. So I'm not sure, nothing's come of it, but I'm trying to just kind of keep in touch with them. I think if we can really get something solidified, it could be a great partnership with them. In terms of the tablets, we had to pivot. We had procurement issues that made it not feasible for us to get the Amazon Fire tablets like we were hoping. So instead, we're doing a lower amount of iPads. So we're hoping to order 96 iPads, or in process of ordering 96 iPads. And that change was approved by the state. So it's been a long road, but we're hoping to really get the ball rolling on that program shortly and get those out in the community. What else? I'm sorry, I'm looking to the side because that's where my notes are. We Beth Israel, Deaconess and Needham just hired an emergency department case manager, which is really, really exciting for us. We met with her. She came and met with the social workers at CAF. It's a great connection for us when our residents go into the hospital to have a live person that we know that we can call for continuity of care, so that we can kind of follow our people if they do end up in the hospital. So we're really, really excited about that, and kind of maintaining that partnership. Isabel's still doing her office hours at the food pantry, which is going great. Building more connections every week. So we love that. We're still doing our coffee hours. The Homelessness Prevention Coalition is taking a break for the summer, but we're looking forward to kicking back up in the fall for that. And then in terms of volunteers, we have about 23 active volunteers who did 484 hours this past month. We did have a front desk meeting just to check in, get feedback. We try and do that fairly regularly. We also had an active shooter training that Latanya wonderfully organized and invited our volunteers to come to, and we had a great turnout. That was run by the Needham Police. The volunteers were thrilled to be a part of it. So thank you, Latanya, for organizing that and thinking to include them. I know that it was really valuable for all of us, and especially the front desk, who are right there to have access to that training was really, really a good thing. And yeah, we're still kind of piloting the online volunteer application, but it seems to be going well. So those are my updates.
Thank you, Jess.
So Jess, there was a question that was raised at the Friends meeting about the front desk and talking about the membership or whatever dues or whatever the heck call it, has that been, I know that some emails have gone back and forth, has that been all straightened out, do you know?
Yeah, so I think I should work with the friends to create a script, and it's live at the front desk now, so it should be clear.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
thank you.
No problem.
Michelle?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would, yeah, she's next on the list. Okay, Michelle?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm not able to turn my video on, but I am here and just wanted to give you the quick update on what Shine has been up to. The biggest thing, as Jess mentioned, is that we were running our new counselor training, of which social worker Jess Rice was a part. We started with 10 potential new counselors to train, and we ended up with 9, which is still a very good number. So it's 4 professionals, so 4 folks who are going to be doing Shine work as part of their job, like Jess, and then 5 volunteers, many of whom are part of the, or are sort of on the western side of our region, where we're always looking for more volume and more capacity out, you know, west of 128. So that wrapped up. They're in the process of taking their exam right now, and they're going to move on to the mentoring phase, where they partner with current counselors. I don't know if Dan is there, but Dan Goldberg is going to be mentoring one of our new counselors this year, who is based at the Watertown Senior Center. We also, you're here. Thank you, Dan, for mentoring. We're also having a summer party for the counselors later on this month to sort of celebrate them towards the end of our fiscal year and thank them for all that they do. You know, so far, as we look at calendar year numbers and open enrollment numbers, our Shine contacts are definitely up, which is wonderful. We're definitely making lots more connections in the community through a lot of the outreach that we're able to do. We've got the billboards. If you've gone to the movies, you might have seen our movie theater ad right before the movie starts. We have an advertisement for Shine then as well. We're doing lots of farmers market tables this summer, really trying to get the word out about Shine during what is traditionally kind of our slow season. So you might see a lot of Shine out in the community, and definitely keep an eye out for our billboards on, especially the one on the Mass Pike. So yeah, any questions about the Shine program?
No, I don't see anybody raising their hand, but congratulations and thank you for doing such a great job for us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Okay.
Michelle. I just want to add the video is working now, for anyone at home that wants to turn their camera on.
Okay.
What?
Is, I don't know, is Aisha on, I can't see the screen. so-
No,
No, I know who it is, but I can't see up the. top.
No.
I can see out there.
no, she
All right.
told me she wasn't gonna be there. So,
Anything other than what's in your report that?
no,
Okay, all right. And the same with,
Transportation.
Stefan.
it's the same
Right,
as in the report.
I'm gonna move that new business item, which is evening transportation, up to where Stefan should be talking about it. I don't know if you had a chance to talk to him at all.
So I was able to talk to Tim about it, and there is gonna be money to add on extra transportation. What it'll look like, we haven't kind of faced it, put together a plan, but there will be money to offer rides for the evening.
Okay, we were concerned because, you know, we do the dinners and other things in the evening, and there are people who can't come because they don't have transportation. And if we have drivers that haven't completed their 19 point something hours, we'd like to see if we can't either add money or move things around so that everybody has access to any evening programs that we have. So, that was what that was all about. Latanya and I had a conversation about that because of the last dinner bell that we had. You know, I think there was a couple people that wanted to do some transportation. And it's not that one of us couldn't volunteer to go get them, but that's not really our responsibility if we have a way of doing it ourselves.
Yeah, the thing that we were also thinking about was sometimes when we do offer rides, it'll be one person that wants a ride. So we'll advertise it early enough. And then if we don't get enough participation, people asking for rides, then we'll probably, if it's one person, we'll probably have to figure out another alternative opposed to just having the van go pick up one person, but, yeah.
And I'm, you know, what have I got to do with my time? So I had said to Latanya, you know, that's something that possibly we can do as a board every once in a while, if somebody needs a ride and we're going to attend anyway, that we could provide that transportation, so.
I'm confident that it'll be where you all won't have to provide, rides.
But you take people in your car all the time, so. Well, you don't, but I'm just, so.
Is it feasible to somehow communicate to those who need rides? That they can contact one of the board members? I'm speaking only for myself, and I think, you know, is it feasible to say, contact one of the following people, and they make their arrangements separately with one of us who's willing to pick them up and take them home?
So,
I don't
so
think-
I think if that.
I know you said you don't want to go there, but I'm throwing that out as a way that, you know, I have friends who I may drive right by, who don't know, who don't have transportation, and I'm happy to do it as a friend.
But
But
if
I
it
hear
comes,
you.
if it comes to that, Ann, then I think it always should go through Latanya. I don't think any of us should have contact with somebody for them to call us for a ride. Just
Okay.
when, okay, so.
Got it, yep.
So, I mean, if it's somebody that you really know or something and they call you, that's fine, but I don't think that availability should be out there
Okay, but we can do it friend to friend.
when we should be working through
Right.
Stefan and Tanya to get that done.
Okay,
So,
but we can do it friend to friend.
right, and there will be a way of letting people know that there is transportation available for some evening event.
Okay.
They
Thank you,
will know, they can sign up for it and we will provide,
thank you.
okay? So that was one of the things under my report that I wanted to mention. The other thing is, I had a conversation today with Tim, and I don't think he's.
He was there.
He was.
He was, but I think he got knocked out, about the fitness room. And the number of people that are in there at a given time that could prove to be dangerous, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have the money to do anything about moving the room, but Tim is going to look for money and says we have money to extend the hours. So he now will have a conversation with Latanya and Steve, Hannigan, thank you, the last name went out of my head, about whether he and the rest of the staff there is willing to add hours, obviously getting paid for it, so that we can open earlier and maybe even stay later. So it's a start. It's something that isn't the best of what we want, but it's, it helps. I mean, I know, Dan, you had said if we could open a half hour earlier.
Yeah, well, it's always busy at 9 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I was told today that yesterday there was some event at the senior center and the gym from 11:30 to 1:30 was wild. You know, so, you know, my only point is that we identified this as a problem 3 years ago. The town then went out and spent $75,000 to do a study of the senior center, which came back with the same recommendations that this board has been suggesting. The last 3 or 4 years, the town has not been shy of money. And there seems to be no wish to get it done. We're spending an enormous amount of money to study train whistles.
Roads, $20 million on roads.
It's priorities that, and we're
Well,
not.
so we're not advocating or not getting enough attention at town hall.
Right, but that's gonna change. So,
You know, and I said Susan's right on that, but
right, so the thing is, Susan has met, and I'll let you speak in a second, Susan, if that's okay. But, you know, this was the start to try and alleviate some of the overcrowded. If it comes to the point where it's going to be dangerous for that many people in that room, Tim said he thought it was maybe 8 or 9 people, and that was crowding it. I said, no, we're talking like 14 people at a time.
right, I think it can accommodate 10 safely.
I think 10.
We may wind up having to say, sir, you have to sign up for the hour you want to come. People are gonna be very annoyed at that,
Very.
but for safety reasons, I think it may be something. If we can't have people move hours around, then, something else has to be done. So, anyway, so while we're annoyed with the town and not getting any money, Sue, I'll let you talk about, your conversation with, Josh, if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. It was a very brief conversation. It was Monday morning, not during his monthly office hours. He was very familiar with the CAP. He was very supportive of everything. And what I tried to do is explain that the work efforts of the staff, it's not fun and games. I mean, there's fun and games, but there is real hard work being done to address issues impacting older adults. And if you look at the senior survey from a couple of years ago, there's food insecurities, there's mental health issues, there's transportation issues. And I did talk about falls significantly, a lot. I reminded him about the survey, Dan, that was done several years ago and the recommendation to switch the rooms. I did not send any follow-up, but, obviously thanked him for his time. He did meet with the chair of the select board Tuesday night. And got back to me Wednesday morning that they were very interested in inviting us to one of their select board meetings. Not that this is a good thing, but I think if people are annoyed, they need to call the town. Why do I have to, it's not going to be one conversation. It's going to be everyone talking constantly to a variety of people, the select board, the finance committee, Kate, and and Tim and others. It's a slow process. So I agree, Colleen, it's not, it's a step in the right direction. And if we have to, Dan, you sent some pictures. I saw pictures of the arthritis class. I almost had a heart attack. We're doing an arthritis class and it's in the game room, which I personally would say was very unsafe for those that were not in the immediate circle. And that's on us meaning that's on the town, if in my opinion. But if they don't know about it, some people know about it, but I think we have to be at every monthly meeting. Someone needs to be at every select board office hours. They happen monthly, just to continue to talk about what they're doing. And what we're doing, what the staff is doing there. So, yeah, I'm passionate about this, and as you can obviously tell, and honestly, I think a picture speaks, it's 1,000 words. I mean, you look at 1 or 2 or 3 pictures. Yeah, there's nothing more to say. It is unsafe, and we are not serving older adults in Needham the way that we should be. Okay, I'll be quiet now.
Thanks, Sue. I did happen to be at a meeting with, Kevin Keane, who's the new chair,
Yeah.
last night. And talked to him about getting together and meeting, and he said, anytime, this summer, this fall, whenever we want to do it. So one of the things that I would like to do, is kind of talk to a few of the people, us, you know, and do some planning. So we don't just go in there and display anger and, you know,
Right.
but we facts and figures and stuff. So I'll be putting something together. That's why I asked people for their vacations. So if you could email me when you might be out of town and stuff, I'd appreciate it. Or text me, I don't care which. Just so I can set up something. So they're obviously open to hearing us. Or listening to us. Whether they're hearing us is obviously going to be another story. So, you know, it's.
I think we're ramping it up.
I agree.
effectively, so.
I agree. You know, I mean, we're now pushing back, which we haven't done before. We've just sat back and said, like when, in my conversation with Tim this morning, he said, well, we did get 2 things in the budget. We got someone permanently at the front desk, and we got, another, help me, Latanya, the,
Social worker.
position. The second position we got through the budget this year.
What, for the driver, another
No.
driver?
The part-time, it was a part-time social worker position.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you,
yeah.
thank you. Part-time social worker, and then someone that permanently at the desk. And I said, great, but it's such a little thing compared to what we really need. That it kind of got lost in the effort. And we're not gonna go, thank you for, you know, giving us this tidbit of money and help, so. But it was a start to start pushing this forward, and I think that's what we basically have to do. So, I wanna make sure that every single member, when we meet with the select board, is there. I don't want one of them to be out on vacation or whatever. Cause I want them all to hear what we have to say, so.
I think we also have to make sure that we get them to come here themselves, because if you look at the select board, they're all young people. They don't come here. Let's invite them here to see us in action.
But they do, you know, they do come, some of them come for coffee, so it's not every month or anything like that, and I don't say that all of them do it, but.
They come when they're running.
They come, but you're
I
right,
invite them all the time so they can see the fitness room when it has 14 people and somebody's waiting for a favorite machine.
yeah, well, we'll see how that works.
I think the summer's easier than the fitness room anyway.
The summer, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so the next 2 or 3 months, I think
It should be better off in the fall. once we
yeah,
get
right,
back.
exactly.
They'll pile in.
Right. So by then, hopefully, whatever the money that Tim is hoping to have, for extra hours and stuff like that, we can do in the fall, and that gives us more time to go through that money towards the year, so. Any other comment or question or?
Sue said she spoke to the.
Josh.
Josh, yeah. Thank you, Sue.
It's because he had office hours.
He had office hours, so she took the time, which was wonderful. She did a great job. So much appreciated, so.
His
Colleen, if there's,
communication's unbelievable.
I'm sorry?
His communication is impressive. So he said he would do something, he did it. He said he'd get back to me, he got back to me. It was just like, wow. So
Great.
I feel like he took it seriously.
Yeah,
That's good.
now we just need to get the rest of them to do it.
Yeah, one down, what, 4 to go?
Right, right.
Colleen, if there's, data or anything you need in anticipation of that, we just put together for Tim, like a select board orientation from the CAF, like a brief PowerPoint for Josh to kind of summarize our big items. So, I can share that with you and the board, but if there's other things you feel like you need to kind of drive home our points from us, we can pull that for you.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, anything else on that? All right, I know we discussed parking spaces. We thought they were going forward with it. All of a sudden, we found that we have to have an actual vote. So could I have a motion from someone, to support the, use of the parking spaces along the front row, is it the
Yeah.
hillside?
Yeah.
Right,
I'll make a motion that the board recommends that the town proceed to negotiate with the MBTA to secure the first row of parking spaces in the MBTA lot along Hillside Avenue.
There's a
I'll second that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, any question? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, unanimous vote.
I have a question on the timers. Before we're gonna go to get to that next, or is that?
Sure,
So.
I kind of skipping around, I'm sorry, I just.
Well, so I can wait.
No, go ahead, no,
So on Latanya's report, they have said they are gently asking the participants in the classes, mainly online, I would say, to make sure that they're contributing to the class, which obviously everybody should be. But we're now 2 to 3 years after we first brought up the fact that we're not taking credit cards to register for classes. And we have a very convoluted system of people bringing checks to the front desk, manually recording them, and sort of creating a list. Well, some of the people in those classes who were gently prodded to contribute have contributed and were very upset and willing to show the canceled check. The idea that we're not taking credit cards is ridiculous. If you go onto the town community program website, it lists on the top left Park and Rec, then Aging Services. Park and Rec, you can register for every class online, Aging Services blank. When we mentioned this 2 years ago, Tim said he was gonna get it off that site. It's still there. But we need to accept credit cards. It's the 21st century. You know, I don't know.
I can answer to-
I don't know if we need the IT department from the town to give us resources, but I think that's something we should be pursuing, because we need a different system. One of the problems with the classes, when people give checks, some people give 1 month, some people give 2 months. It's hard for the people at the front desk to keep an accurate list of who's paid.
and some people pay by the class because they don't want to have to pay in case they don't make the next class. So instead of paying for the whole class that they're taking, they pay time, individually, which is, I think, ridiculous that we're
So
allowing.
I can talk about the credit card system. So we were in the beginning stage of talking with Veronica, the new treasury. So the reason why it hasn't taken place is my senior center works for the senior center, my rec doesn't work for the senior center. So in order for us to accept credit cards through my senior center, we have to get approval from the Treasury Department because they've approved the system for my rec, which the rec, park and rec use. We don't use it because we would have to go through a whole new registration of re-signing our senior population up, and it would just be too much. So right now, the Treasury Department is going through a new system, and it's been taking a while. We've been in constant contact with them. So they have reassured us that at some point that meeting is gonna take place. So that's where it stands. It's not that we're not unwilling. We can't just say we're gonna accept credit cards without having a Treasury approval.
Well, so that's just another issue that we should be pressing the town.
I think so, I agree with you. Get it moving, because otherwise they'll just sit there and fiddle around, nothing.
So we were just in touch with the Treasury 2 months ago, so they said as soon as they have availability, they'll get back to us.
So,
And it's on my list, like I definitely have been, the whole staff has been sending emails as reminders, so. So me and Aisha and Jess is gonna be in that meeting
okay,
to talk about the new system that my senior center.
all right, but you're okay, because I don't wanna overstep what you're doing. I am going to call the treasurer's office. And push. Ridiculous.
I think
Okay.
sorry, this is,
I think the more people that push, the better.
I think anyone who is complaining about having to write a check or complaining about not being able to use credit cards should be calling or writing or emailing. I mean, it's them. I agree with you, Dan. It is a little ridiculous in 2024. We can't figure this out.
You know, again, it's that we have to make noise and we haven't done that. And it's, you know, unfortunately, we've just kind of, to a certain extent, we've kind of sat back and said, okay, we'll wait, but that's not getting us anywhere, so.
Well, not to be critical of Tim, but I think we sort of deferred that Tim would be pushing all these issues and nothing's happened.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for Tim, or for us, Tim has too many departments that he's trying to, you know, and, you know, so again,
We have to.
right, exactly. Okay, I'm sorry.
You were just helping.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I called him today. I wanted to know what we were, you know, what we had planned. I called him about I had talked to him at Ted Eaton's, retirement party, and we finally got together this morning on the phone. Because I wanted him to know, you know, that we're done. We're not gonna sit back anymore and that we wanna go to the select board and we want some action, so. And I talked to him about the fitness center.
We have to help him with us when we go to the select board.
I don't think so. I mean, you know. If he wants to be there, that's all well and good, but I think this is our board that's going there and saying, we're done, we're tired and we want more.
Yeah, I think the credit card issue is a good thing to move forward. We at the VFW used to be checks and cash, but for all the hall events as well as in the bar side, the lounge as well as the hall rental bar side, we are on the credit card situation now because a lot of people used to come in and especially the younger people, maybe not like us, but they come in and looking with a hall event, they look to buy some drinks. Nobody's got cash, but they got the phones or else they got a credit card.
Yeah.
So the system got changed. It's a thing that's happening now. They should move forward with that. I agree.
Okay, before I forget to do it, we need to approve the minutes for last month. I would have forgotten, I just happened to glance down at it. I know there's a couple of errors, basically in spelling, I didn't see anything else, but at the, under present, Kate Roby is listed twice, so one of them needs to come out before it's recorded. And under C, chairperson's report, my name is misspelled.
How could that happen?
It happens. What the heck? It happens. So,
I'll make a motion, we approve the main meeting. Second.
so corrected. Yes, as
The
corrected.
corrections.
Was there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Ted?
Wow. Very good. Well, to begin with, the Memorial Day event in town went pretty good, very good, actually. The attendance at all the locations was good, with the exception of the first one that takes place at the police and fire station, and then after that followed by St. Mary's Cemetery, which is kind of early in the morning, but from that point on, the Veterans Memorial, as well as the town cemetery, the town center, then Memorial Park, there were quite a few people, so good attendance. And even after that, after Memorial Field, we were at capacity for the collation at the VFW. So a lot of people came and took part of that, which is good. The other thing that I wanted to mention, the Needham Channel, be it the channel on Chestnut Street. They're doing a documentary. They're gonna work on a documentary video, The Veterans of Needham. So if anybody knows of anybody that's a veteran, wants to push forward with whatever they experienced in the military, get in touch with the Needham Channel. The person's name there is Derek Risner, R-I-S-N-E-R. And I don't know when the documentary is gonna happen, but he gathered a few interviews. I was there as well, plus some others. There's a lot that, I didn't see this published anywhere in any newspaper or anything, so by word of mouth, maybe it'll get to maybe a few more people, the more the merrier. And like I said, I don't know when the documentary is gonna be finalized and published. The third thing I wanted to talk about is, briefly, there's gonna be a veterans focus group, which is gonna be to discuss the West Suburban District structure. I got my invitation today. I don't know where my reputation precedes me, but it says, I got the invite from Kristen Scoble. The name sounds familiar. It says Emergency Management Administrator, Town of Needham. But she's inviting me to meet for this particular discussion. It's going to take place on June 18th here at the CAF at 1 o'clock. I know that there's been some issues with the Veterans Services, not necessarily the fellow we have right now, but his boss, so to speak. And I think the towns have hired a consultant to evaluate the situation based on every one of the 5 towns that are represented. So I think this here is something that, whether they're doing it by individual towns first, and this is the one for Needham, we'll go to that and we'll find out. But that's up and coming.
Who's paying for this consultant?
The town is supposedly,
Okay.
that's,
Thank you.
that's the way I understood it. Yeah, 5 towns are being interviewed.
We love
Yeah.
consultants. We love paying consultants.
Don't we though? That's the business
Yeah.
to be in. Right.
Well, indirectly, the federal government is the one that pays the VSO, because by law, there's supposed to be a VSO in every town. As the years went by, budgets were cut back, so it went from one person in each town to one person now representing 5 towns. So we have ours for Needham on Thursdays. He was here today. As a matter of fact, I met with him today. We discussed a number of different things. He mentioned to me that when I attend that Veterans Function Group, focus group, to mention the fact that one thing took place in Westwood. Of the 5 towns that are basically overseen by him, Westwood is the only, and I say the only town that has adopted one of the items that was on the list of different laws that were passed by the state, by the governor. This particular one was in 2018. Other towns have incorporated this already. It's not that it's a $75 million project, it's a cost of one little sign on the signpost. And the directive was for each town, once the law was passed in 2018, the directive was for each town to provide a parking space at the town hall with a sign that designates a veterans parking space. I had presented this copy of this little article to the previous, the previous deputy director, not Sarada, but the other young lady. And at the time when I was sitting with her and mentioning it, this is probably 2022. Oh yeah, we're working on that. The town is working with her, and so it sounds kind of positive. Needless to say, March 2023, when we had our Veterans District meeting in Weston, I was there at the time. I had presented to our new VSO officer a series of these different kinds of laws that were passed, examples of communities that have incorporated these. And I remember at the time, 5 town administrators were there, Kate Fitzpatrick was there as well. And I got up and mentioned a few that I had as examples. And obviously Needham at the time, even when the veteran service officer met with the town, when he first took over, he met with the towns and he presented this packet, which was about probably 3/16 of an inch thick of all of these different issues that have been passed. Some people that have adopted these, you don't have to show any more than 2 towns that have participated in any one of these particular issues that have adopted them to show how others are lacking. But in either case, he told me, the VSO told me this morning, the town of Westwood has a sign at their town hall for veterans parking space. So that's the first one out of 5.
Yeah, you discussed this before with us.
Yes, that's right, yes.
It was one of the
But so
things.
now it materialized in one town. That's an example for the other 4 to follow. Yeah. The other one that I want to comment on as well is, I know we all drive in and out of town. We drive into Dedham, we drive from Dedham into Needham. We do see a so-called Purple Heart sign. Town of Needham is a Purple Heart town. When you look at that sign, okay, green sign, it's got the town's seal on it. Lately, I've been driving, when I drove in and out of Dedham, etc., they have a different sign. As a matter of fact, it shows, it's in color, it says Purple Heart Town, and it's got an actual picture of a Purple Heart on the sign. So when you compare that one to the one that Needham has, the one in Needham is pathetic. To the person that has a Purple Heart, it's pathetic, really.
Those in Needham, I've seen them here.
Yeah,
The
I've
one,
seen-
as you drive in and out, it says Purple Heart Town, but it does not have a Purple Heart on it. It's not colored like the other town. So, I mean, these signs are available. I'm surprised that, there's such a difference. The one in Needham, like I said, has it, and I think it probably even maybe did it a year or 2 before the other town maybe, but I don't know when the other town did it, but that sign, that sign really comes at you when you're going into the other town. Because that color and everything, you just focus on it. So I just see that as a big discrepancy.
Ted, what does that mean? That means that we have a Purple Heart person in our town?
Well, we do have one. We have only one living Purple Heart recipient. But yeah, the town was dedicated at some point in time here past few years as a Purple Heart town. It's a good move. It's a good political type of thing as well. A lot of times they do, just like they did the bridges. They put a sign up on the bridges. They named a bridge after somebody. That's okay, but the last one that they did in where Polaroid used to be, I remember the fellow used to sit with me at the VFW. They didn't do it while he was alive. He died and then they named the bridge. So they're naming the bridges after all the people that are dead. Why don't they name the bridge after somebody that was still alive? Okay, that's like my wife says, don't bring me flowers when I'm on my funeral, bring them to me when I'm alive. But lastly, I just want to read you this. It's just a brief thing, but I didn't read it at the last meeting. I got this from a Needham resident who now lives in Foxborough. in Attleboro. She was a teacher, in Attleboro. I don't know if there's any teachers here, former teachers, educators or not, but in either case, this here was sent to me and it's powerful. The name of the teacher basically is Randy Owens. Name doesn't really mean anything. But it says, in September of 2005, on the first day of school, Martha Cothran, a history teacher at Valley Heights High School in Port Rowan, Ontario. This is not the United States. Somebody else is doing something, which is really amazing. Did something not to be forgotten. On the first day of school, with the permission of the school superintendent, which is kind of surprising, the principal and the building supervisor, she removed all of the desks in her classroom. When the first period kids came, entered the room, they discovered that there were no desks. Ms. Corin, where are our desks? Maybe it's our behavior, she told them. No, it's not even your behavior. And so they came and went, the first period, the second period, the third period. Still no desks in the classroom. Kids called their parents to tell them what was happening. And by early afternoon, television news crews had started gathering at the school to report about this crazy teacher who had taken all the desks out of her room. The final period of the day came, and as the puzzled students found seats on the floor of the deskless classroom, Martha Cothran said, throughout the day, no one has been able to tell me just what he or she has done to earn the right to sit at the desks that are ordinarily found in this classroom. Now I'm going to tell you. At this point, Martha Cothran went over to the door of her classroom and opened it. 27 veterans, all in uniform, walked into the classroom, each one carrying a school desk. The vets began placing the school desks in rows, and then they would walk over and stand alongside the wall. By the time the last soldier had set the final desk in place, those kids started to understand, perhaps for the first time in their lives, just how the right to sit at those desks had been earned. Martha said, you didn't earn the right to sit at these desks. These heroes did it for you. They placed the desks here for you. They went halfway around the world giving up their education and interrupting their careers and families so you could have the freedom you have. Now it's up to you to sit in them. It's your responsibility to learn, to be good students, to be good citizens. They paid the price so that you could have the freedom to get an education. Don't ever forget it. By the way, this is a true story, and this teacher was awarded Veterans of Foreign War Teacher of the Year in 2006. She is the daughter of a World War II POW. Then they say, do you wish to pass it on? I thought it was kind of moving, and when I read it the first time I was reading it to my wife, I actually broke down, and that's the first time that I ever broke down, because I don't even break down at funerals. But anyways, I thank you for listening.
Thank you. That was really interesting, really, moving.
It happened overseas, it happened in Canada, not, they somehow approved it. Can you imagine asking your superintendent here to do something like that?
Well, might work.
You can ask.
Yeah. Okay, and anything from the friends?
Oh, yeah, just a few things. Keep a couple of dates in mind. We are going to have our popular ice cream social again this summer, August 7th. So if you know of anyone you want to bring, sign up. We need to know how many people are coming. And on September 13th, we're having our annual meeting with a wonderful strawberry shortcake dessert that we usually have. And another thing, the board of the Friends approved from our enrichment funds to recover, and with thanks to Colleen, we're going around to get to pick the fabric and have it done at Medium Upholstery. So we're going to have the chairs out there. I'm still not sure which ones are.
So it's the 5 chairs in the library that are going to be redone, and the 4 chairs in the hall when you get off the elevator up on the second floor that are in such, yeah.
Those are the ones being done first, though, the 4 chairs.
I don't know, we haven't really decided,
Oh,
but possibly, yeah. Anyway, so,
Yeah, so those, stay tuned for that. I don't know when those will be ready, but.
yeah, but not all at the same time, because,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, so
Yeah.
just, and then, just wanna say the gift shop is doing quite well, so. Stop in sometime, we have little sales now and then, but people are working hard to try and get new stuff in, so. It's working fine, so I guess that's all I'm reporting. See you all at the ice cream social.
so we haven't received it yet, but, the Exchange Club Foundation is donating, $10,000 to the Friends. For replacing furniture and hopefully some other things out on the deck. So, to my knowledge, you haven't gotten a check yet, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for the turnover of the fiscal year. and
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that won't be for a while, yeah, no, I know it's coming, but, let you know it, but.
Okay. Tanya,
I know, everyone had received the select board goals. What I would like for you, just if you have comments or feedback, just send them to me, because what we're doing is compiling them. I'm gonna take the feedback that the staff provide, and we're gonna put them in a packet to, send to Kate, of the recommendations. So
okay, and you want those by
I think I said the 18th, I think
18th,
Annie said that.
18th, yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, yeah, so it's like a. Okay, anything else? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Thank you, second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Bye.
Adjourned.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Everybody have a great summer, I will be in
Oh,
touch.
do we